Hey guys, so on your notes that I gave you today, you are going to notice that you have a grid. You guys have seen grids before, they're nothing new. In fact, you used them the other day when I was out. In 6th grade, we're not going to call them grids anymore. We're going to call them coordinate planes. A plane in geometry is not something that flies through the air, guys, as cool as that would be. A plane is actually just a flat space that goes forever and ever and ever in all directions. Think like, I don't know, Kansas, something really flat and big. In order to have a coordinate plane, you have to have two things. You have to have an x-axis, which goes forever and ever and ever in both directions horizontally. I put the little arrows down here at the end, guys, to indicate that it goes forever this way and forever that way. You also need a y-axis. It does the exact same thing, except it's vertical. It goes forever and forever up and forever down. And if you guys wouldn't mind going ahead and putting your own arrows on that. Okay, now that we have our x-axis, which is horizontal, and our y-axis, which is vertical, make sure you know the difference. Let's talk about numbering these things. Okay, now when you number them, you're not numbering the spaces, you're numbering the lines. That's how you plot points. So 0 is actually going to be here in the very center, okay? And as you go to the right, your numbers are going to get positive, and as you go to the left, your numbers are going to be less than 0, which makes them negative numbers. So you have your 1, 2, 3 to the right, and -1, -2, -3 to the left. The y-axis is the same way. When it's above 0, that's where you're going to have your positive numbers, and when it's below 0, that's when you're going to have, hopefully, if it'll let me open it. Oh, come on, guys. That's when you're going to have, there it goes, your negative numbers. Okay, the only other thing you need to know about this is you need to understand that where the two axes, yeah, I know, axes, weird, right? That's what plural of axis is called. When the two axes cross, right here, it's at the origin, because that's where everything starts. Alright, now let's talk about putting points on this coordinate plane of ours. They're not just called points, we also call them coordinates or ordered pairs. And all those are two numbers that represent a location on the coordinate plane. That's a very specific location. It's called an XY coordinate, and the first number is where you go on the x-axis. So you start at the origin, and then your first number tells you to go which direction sideways, and then the second number tells you where to go up and down, because that's the y-axis, the y coordinate. Alright, so let's look at this coordinate right here. Let's call it point A, and that's going to be 3, 4. Let's take one of our points over here. You always start at the origin, and we're going to count the lines, remember, not the spaces. So we're going to go to 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to go up 4 because it's a positive number. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is where point A is located. And let's look at one that's a little bit different. Oops, excuse me. You've got point B, which is -2, -3. So again, let's get our point. We're going to start at 0, we're going to go to -1, -2, then we're going to go down, because it's a negative number, to -1, -2, -3. And down there is going to be the location of point B, which is -2, -3. Make sure you pay attention to those negatives and where they tell you to go. The only other point I wanted to show you real quick is 0, 0. Alright, so if you start at your origin and you go 0 sideways and 0 up and down, you're still at the origin, right? So that means that the origin is located at point 0, 0. Alright guys, last slide, promise. Okay, so we got point A located here and point B located here. We know the origin is 0, 0. The only other thing I want you to know is it's about something called quadrants. Now if you look at our coordinate plane here, it actually kind of looks like it's split up into 4 sections. Each of these sections is called a quadrant. So starting up here, this is quadrant 1. Now I know it looks like an I, guys, but that's the Roman numeral 1. Please use the Roman numeral 1. Occasionally you'll see it say 1, but almost always you'll see the Roman numeral. So point A is located in quadrant 1. And if you look at it right here, guys, this is the part of the plane that you learned first. This is what you're used to, quadrant 1. Over here is quadrant 2, again, Roman numerals. And then down here at the bottom we have quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So point B is located at quadrant 3. If you'll notice, guys, it goes counterclockwise, which means it goes backwards from a clock. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you have all of this labeled on your notes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.